Alright, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye, episode 11, I believe. And I'm coming to you live in effect. And yeah, here we are. After two back to back victories, it's not every day that I can sit here as an Arsenal fan where we scored 4 goals twice in a game and sit here with my feet up. But that is precisely what I'm doing right about now. I got nothing really major to say. As stupid as this sounds, one of the podcasts saying I got nothing major to say. But I guess I kind of had like a bit of a euphoric moment where I watched yesterday's game. I don't know how you thought. I guess I might as well get right into this. I watched yesterday's game and I felt for the first time in a long, long time calm. There was something really serene about it. Even when the match was somewhat 50-50, and people might point out to the fact that, oh, well, calm down, Jig, it's a championship team. We've played championship teams before, and I felt nervous. But no, yesterday I felt so calm that, you know what, that we've got this. There was at no point yesterday where I felt like we would lose that game. And I've not felt like that about an Arsenal game in a long, long time. Do you know what it kind of reminded me of? Here's a weird segue, but to my boys who will listen to this and think, gosh, Chick is at it again, they know what I'm like. So I don't know if you guys have watched a show like this. There's a show that used to be on BBC One a few years ago. In fact, the last episode was in 2012. I've got all the DVDs ever made of this particular show. I personally think, even slightly before Top Gear, for me, it's the best ever BBC show. And that is Hustle. I loved Hustle from episode 1, mainly because I'm a bit of a heist fiend. I like anything heist related, whether it's real life, whether it's a biography, whether it's made up. I love it. It could be technically shit, and I would still watch it. But there was just something about Hustle that had me gripped for years. Every time it came on, almost kind of like the way I am about Sherlock these days. Every time it come on, literally everything would have to stop for Hustle. I damn near stopped homework, probably when it was on I say homework, uni. Well, yeah, homework from uni back in 2004 when it first started. And I literally, probably unadvisable, but I did it anyway. I stopped homework and literally just watched Hustle. I used to badger my friends on WhatsApp, and the boys will know what I'm talking about when I say this. I'll usually spoil it and start talking about the episode. And 9 times out of 10, they're not watching it live with me because I was the only one crazy enough that had to watch it live. And I'm telling you this story because in the last episode, there was something really sad and profound about the episode. It's technically one of the best episodes, but I don't like watching it often because there was something really, really sound and really sad and profound just watching, how these hustlers have grown up almost with us, if you like, and how there's a scene where Emma is doing a con and it just looks so easy. It looks like clockwork. It looks like she's having a mini dance in there where she's basically jacking the keys and breaking into a room and it just looks like absolute like clockwork, like an absolute dance that's going on there. And it was something so serene but so sad about watching the episode, but yet everything was watching so smooth. Do you know, I felt like the reason that I even mentioned this Hustle example, it kind of felt like that way watching Arsenal play yesterday. Almost like finally everything was starting to come together. That for once we went into that game um, against Forrest, because I'll be honest. I like patting myself in the back when I get something right, but I also like being honest. I felt like we'd win comfortably, but I didn't think we would score 4 goals. I thought it'd be 2-0. Um, but there was something about yesterday's episode that felt like this is Wenger's last third round EFL game, because it felt like finally we had, and I saw it on Twitter, and everyone said the same thing. Finally, even the most negative people said the same thing. It finally felt like, wow, this is what we've been waiting for 12, 13 years. This is what we've been waiting for. A team that clicks, that still produces the youngsters that, let's face it, every diehard fan really loves to see. And I love to see it. I love to see youngsters coming through. I love to see our local boys coming through. Arsenal is legitimately my local team. You know, I'm not one of these, oh, I'm in London, so I support them guys. I grew up in North London. I literally live smack bang in the middle of Arsenal and Tottenham. And you know I ain't picking them scumbags. So it was always Arsenal for me. My mum lived right across the stadium. I'm Arsenal through and through. I had no choice whatsoever in the matters, particularly if my mum had anything to do with it. You know, my sisters are the same. All my friends are the same. You know, most of my friends are the same. There's only one of them who isn't. I don't know. I don't know. It's bullshit in my head. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know. But you know, it just felt like I just had the same feeling. I don't know why. It just almost like a bit of a cold shiver. Like, wow, I'm watching something special. Like, I'm watching something that this is what we've been waiting for all this time. You know, we've been waiting for this moment, for Arsenal to be absolutely on point, for us to be just firing on all cylinders, for us to be completely and utterly seamless in transition. And that was what yesterday's match was like, you know. I mean, if I'm going to go into a review of it, because I didn't do one separately, like I said I was going to, apologies for that. Just from off, I thought the match was very hotly contested. Don't know what the hell was wrong with Lansbury. Mems came up with with a fantastic quote. I had to retweet it. It was fantastic. He said, Henry Lansbury's playing like Arsene Wenger raped his girlfriend or something. Like, I don't know what was wrong with him. He should have been sent off at least twice during that match. And only just about picked up a yellow card in the second half. I don't know what was wrong with him. He was playing like a madman, but not like in a good way. In like a, what are you trying to prove? Like, you're trying to prove that you're hard, because you don't need to be injuring our players to prove you're a decent player. We obviously got to witness the Lord himself, Bentner. I actually thought he had an okay first half. Did what Bentner usually does, and that went missing in the second half. But I thought he had a couple of attempts on goal. There was one shot he had. I must admit, he had that shot. I actually thought I thought it was going in. It was a decent effort. But yeah, I just felt so at ease, so peaceful, so serene, I think is the word I'm looking for, watching that match. I've not felt like that way about an Arsenal match in some time. So to go into the Arsenal starting lineup, I got 8 out of 11, right? I did tweet that out. Surprisingly, Martinez started. I know people always forget we have him. Yeah, we still have Emiliano Martinez at the club. Have no idea where Ospina is. I'm sure by now it's probably come out. I haven't checked, truth be told, but I don't know where Ospina was. Another person I have no idea where he was is Debussy. I assume he's injured. This should have been the match he started. when Maitland-Niles started, and I thought played really well, but I'll come back to that. As predicted, Gab came back and he partnered Holding. Thought they did very well, but I'm going to come back to that too. Gibbs also played, and that made up the back five. And then it was crucial. It was crucial to see who was going to start in the middle. And as predicted, it was El Nene and it was Xhaka. Now, here's the thing. I knew Ox would play, and I knew he would play on the right-hand side. And funny enough, again, I hate to pat myself in the back, but you know I'm going to do so anyway. I knew that Jeff would play. And funny enough, I just had a feeling he'd play as a number 10, and he played as a number 10. And I kind of said that Juru would play, and if Juru doesn't play, it would be Perez. Because I just didn't think Akpom would play. I didn't think he would start. I was wrong about that latter bar. You could say I was wrong about Juru as well, because he didn't start. I don't know. Juru not playing was kind of a weird one, because I hear people saying he's not fit. Isn't this the type of game he should be playing to get fit? I don't know. Maybe he's saving it for Chelsea. I don't know. But yeah, Perez started and played the 490 actually. And Akpom, weirdly, started on the left. And I actually thought he did okay on the left, to be honest. I was pleasantly surprised by that performance. I think the people that stand, I thought the whole team played well. You know, let's give marks out of 10. I thought Emilio didn't really have to do anything. I'll give him a 6. He was untroubled. I thought Maitland-Niles did really well. I don't think right back is his first position, but all things being considered, I thought he played really well. Delivered some really decent crosses as well, and didn't attack as much as Bellerin, but because of that, he was defensively very sound. So I mean, my gosh, if that's the backup we got for Debussy, you can let Debussy go, son. I thought he played really well, really, really well. 7 out of 10. I thought the two defenders were fantastic. Closed everything out. Holding. I kind of worry for Gab a little bit. I actually think Holding is probably slightly ahead of him, in my opinion. I don't know if Wenger shares that opinion, but I actually think he's ahead of him. The kid is coming on leaps and bounds, and I know we used to talk this talk with Callum Chambers. I don't remember being this impressed by Callum Chambers the way I am about Holding. He was faultless yesterday. Absolutely faultless. I am very, very impressed with that kid. And I thought Gab did really well, all things being considered. Shut them down. They barely, bar the Bentner opportunity, I don't really remember too many dangerous opportunities that they had. So I'll give them both 7 out of 10. I thought they played well without ever having to be spectacular. But I thought they closed everything out. Really, I'm tempted to give them an 8. I'll give them a 7.5. I don't really like doing the 0.5s, but I'll do it this occasion. I was very impressed by them both. Left back, I thought Gibbs was okay. I don't think he did anything particularly spectacular. I'm tempted to give him a 6. So it sounds harsh. I just don't really remember anything particularly special from him. So I'll give him a 6. Xhaka, let's face it, control does what he does. I know loads of people. I've seen memes come out and say that they have a flat out man crush on Xhaka. I know DT loves him. I know there are plenty of other people that love him. I can see why. You know, he's everything that we as Arsenal fans love. You know, just combative, clearly a leader. You can see, I mean, Gibbs apparently was captain yesterday. It felt like Xhaka was captain. Like, clearly everyone was around there to play for him. which I quite like. I think that's admirable. I honestly believe that he has the command of at least the youngsters. Um, I thought was absolutely fantastic, and I share the call that the man needs to start. I love Santi. I love Santi, but he must start alongside um, Coquelin or El Nene. But we must have two slightly defensive-minded people in there. As much as I love Santi, this is not the Chelsea game. Is not the game for him. And Xhaka needs to start playing. It's ridiculous that we've got him on the bench. And Coquelin, I thought they both showed it yesterday. I'd give Xhaka an 8 because that goal, it was just amazing. Or it's slightly deflected, but the fact that the man has the audacity to try that again and still score, 8 out of 10. Coquelin alongside of him, I thought was Coquelin. El Nene alongside of him, I thought was. I saw him get criticised on Twitter. To me, I think he gave the ball away twice. Other than that, I thought he did okay. I thought he did pretty well, to tell you the truth. So I'd give him a 7. I'm going to intentionally leave the right side to last. You'll see why. Left-hand side, I thought Akpom surprised me. Probably the biggest surprise is if I thought he was playing, I thought he'd be playing up top. So for him to almost take a Welbeck role, if you like, I didn't think he had it in him. I actually thought he did really, really well. I'd sooner play him there than have Ox playing there. I'll tell you that now. I thought he did really, really, really well. And he's probably now it just shows you the depth we have. Bear in mind, we still don't have Ramsey. Wilshire's still on loan. And Welbeck is still injured. And we have all this depth in our team. It's fantastic. I thought Akpom did really, really well. And I'd be tempted to give him 7 out of 10. I thought he did really well. Jeff, Rene Adelaide, I thought he was great. I thought another good, solid performance. The youngest on our team, I believe, 18 years old, and did well. Showed some nice touches, particularly in the first half. I thought he showed some nice, cute touches, created a couple of opportunities. Will be a very good player. You mark my words, Jeff will be a very, very good player. I'd be tempted to give him a 7 out of 10. Then you have Perez. I'm so happy for Perez. So happy for Perez. You know, he finally got off the mark, scored a good penalty. I actually really like the way he took the penalty. Not only did he take the penalty well and scored the penalty, but then also he managed to get himself another goal, but showed different attributes. So that goal showed not only did he have pace and has strength to hold the defender off to get that ball in, but also have the finishing abilities. I'll tell you what, I'm starting to agree with people. You know who he kind of reminds me of? You know when Eduardo first started in our team? And I'll tell you what, before that injury, Eduardo was going to be something. He was really going to be something. He kind of reminds me of a Spanish version of Eduardo. And I'll tell you what, if he can be as good as Eduardo was set to be, what an addition to the squad that is. I was very impressed. Don't think necessarily he should start yet, but I thought he played really well. And you could see his energy and his confidence picked up after he scored the goal. I kind of agree with what D2 said on Arsenal Fan TV. You could see that he almost kind of got the monkey off his back by scoring, and it clearly was just a relief to him to be able to get off the mark. So I'd give Perez an 8. Tell a lie, because he also had an assist. So I'd give him an 8.5 out of 10. and I just about, ahead of Xhaka, controversially, but I'll just about give him man of the match. I don't think other people agree, but fuck it. This is my thing, and this is what I think. So yeah, I thought he played really well. I'm just happy he's off the mark. He's off and running now. Don't think he should necessarily start against Chelsea, but don't be surprised if he gets a 20-minute cameo if things are not quite going well. And then Ox. I've intentionally left Ox till last because part of me feels slightly vindicated in the sense that I always defend him probably more than I do Theo. Mainly because I truly believe he has something that I don't believe Theo has. I do think he often overplays the ball and doesn't make the right decision. In spite of that, and this is where I'm going to sound really contradictory on myself, and I can imagine you guys will disagree at this point, but hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I truly believe somewhere in there is a footballing brain. I do. I see. This is where I favour him over Theo. Whenever I see him dribble on the ball, and whenever I see Theo running with the ball, I believe if I'm prepared to lay my money down on who's going to produce me something better at the end of this, I'll go with Alex. I really will, every single time. And the reason being is with Theo, more often than not, I've seen him get into too many situations where it looks like he panics as soon as somebody closes him down. Whereas with Alex, my frustration with him, and a lot of your frustration with him, no doubt, is he'll beat the player. But then in trying to do something ridiculous, he'll lose that same... he'll lose the ball to the player who's just beaten by trying to do some sort of flash shit. And that is the problem I have with Alex. You know, for me, if he cut out half of that and just kept things simple, make simple decisions after you've beaten the man, you were capable of so much. And you know what? I thought yesterday he played well. I really did. You know, if there were three standout players to me, it was Xhaka, it was Lucas, and honestly, it was Alex. You know, I thought he plugged and plugged and plugged away. And just when I was starting to lose hope in the kid, I must admit, came out with a good performance, scored a good goal at the end. Yes, Lucas set him up, but it was all Alex's making, Alex's movement that made that. I loved everything about that goal. It was such a brilliant team goal. And yeah, I mean, that was that. And then obviously you had some cameos from Zelalem. You had some cameos from Chris Wilcock, who's another one like Jeff, who lots and lots of people have high hopes for. You had a very, very, very brief cameo from Christian Bielik, who came on for who's the damn right back? I've forgotten his name. Maitland-Niles came on for him towards the end. But all of them came on so late. Like the first substitutes came on at like 82nd minute. So I'm not going to mark them out of 10, but it's just nice to see some of the youngsters coming in to play and showing what they can also do too. Because particularly in Zelalem's case, I know he's been waiting a long time to show what he can do. And that's why I really want us to have a long run in this thing, so that we can give our squad, but also give the kids an opportunity to play. But I loved everything about it. And, you know, together with the whole performance, I said it already, the whole performance was a good performance. I had reservations. Can we kick on from there? In a way, I think we did. Even though it was with technically a slightly different team, something seems to be happening. You know, something seems to be happening. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I was completely wrong when I made United favourites for this league. City, I'll be honest, they look on a different level. They really do. As much as I hate to admit it, Guardiola's got them playing. And it's going to take something special to prevent them from winning the league, in all honesty. But something's happening here. I'm just feeling like things are clicking into place. And if we can get our big players on form, and this is the thing, I would argue 2 of our biggest players are not even on form. You know, in Sanchez, who I still think is trying to find his way, even though he's popped up with a goal here and there on Saturday, fine. I still think he's trying to get his best form there. Ozil, I have no idea what's happening to Ozil. But I don't think he's on form. And for us to still win 2-0, 4-0, 4-1 and 4-0 in both of those games without an informed Ozil in one of them and without Ozil at all in the other one, something's happening. I guess the big $1 million question is Chelsea. Let's face it, Chelsea is going to be our benchmark. Chelsea are, and probably always will be, our bogey team. There's something about us psychologically that can't seem to get past Chelsea. Chelsea are not in great form. Right, they won yesterday, but they had to win with the use of extra time. And for at least 60 minutes, I thought they was completely and utterly second best to Leicester. They were so... All right, they came back into it, end of the first half and the second half. I actually thought Leicester plugged away until they had that sending off. And to be honest with you, I still think if Leicester had 11 men, they would have won that game. In my opinion. I just felt like Chelsea were too defensively sloppy. They're good going forward, but defensive, almost like Liverpool, they're defensively really sloppy. And I don't think they're as good as Liverpool going forward. Let's face it, our battle is going to be with that idiot Costa. As long as we can pocket him, as long as we can find a way of handling him, there is no reason why we should not be able to beat this team at home. If we can find a way to handle him, there is no reason we can't beat this team at home. I don't know. I really want to be confident going into that game, but I'll be truthful and say I don't know. It could go either way in terms of how that match eventually plays out. I'll be watching it, and yeah, I'll do my assessment from there in terms of how I feel they will do in my preview show, which will be on Friday. In terms of today, and in terms of what I've seen over the last couple of days, what do I think Arsenal are capable of? Well, let me tell you this. I'm a hell of a lot more confident than I was 2-3 weeks ago. I do believe something is happening here, but we need now to convert it. We need to convert it into something. I'm eager to see if we can convert it into something. I'm eager to see if we are capable of doing something really special. If we do have the strength to beat a Chelsea, if we do have the ability to tame a City, who we've always, bar one result where they absolutely spanked us 6-3, generally we tend to have not too bad a record against Man City. But this ain't Man City, this is a Guardiola team. So, with a completely and utterly on fire De Bruyne, and the rest of the team is just clicking. And they're winning games easily without Aguero. I used to always think they were a one-man team, but Aguero weren't even there for most of these. He's been suspended for most of the time. And they're still banging in goals like it's nothing. But first things first. First test first. Chelsea. This ain't a Jose Mourinho Chelsea. You know, this is Conte. He's still probably trying to install confidence in them. 1 minute, Hazard is the best player in the world. The next minute is a completely average player. I think Costa, as long as you starve Costa from the service, I don't think he'll do that much, in all honesty. I thought his finishing against Leicester was woeful. I think potentially we could do something, but it's gonna take a monumental effort. It's gonna take much less interest than we usually get. It's gonna take everything to overhaul City. And if this is Wenger's last season, I so badly wish that we leave it all on the line and we give everything for the cause. So that's pretty much it. So I did put out a tweet in terms of people asking me some questions. I got 3 responses. Admittedly, I did leave it long before the show, so I may have got more, I don't know. But these were the 3 that I found. So I'm just going to read out these questions because sometimes I like doing these Q&As just to see what you guys think. So from Gooner 789, what do I think about Granit Xhaka? And do I believe he's a better purchase than Paul Pogba? So lots and lots of people are using the opportunity to bash Pogba. I'm not yet. I must admit. I just feel like there could be an egg on face situation if I do. It certainly feels like better value for money already. I think the reason why people are very quick to bash Pogba is because, let's forget his price tag for a second. They expected an instant player. And arguably at 89 million, you should get an instant player. You should get a player that absolutely hits the ground running. I'll tell you, for me, where I believe, maybe Pogba is not all that, I don't normally rate this pundit. Sometimes I think he talks for the sake of talking. I think he tends to do side stories in order to make himself look clever. But I must admit, in the last couple of months, I was even discussing this with one of the boys over the weekend. The last couple of months, he's upped his pundit game. And I'll tell you who that is. That's Jamie Carragher. He made one of the best yet most brutal assessments of Paul Pogba I have ever seen. And I think that was against the City game a couple of weeks ago. And all he did was he said, so you just watch what Pogba does this entire game. And he highlights Pogba on at least 7 or 8 different occasions. And this motherfucker is anywhere but where he should be. He's either out on the left, out on the right, up front, left back. I'm like, wait a minute. Aren't you supposed to be, I don't know, a central midfielder? Why are you over on the left? And I watched that game, and I did see Pogba over there a couple of times on that left wing, but I didn't really think anything of it. But every time, even when United were in defensive positions, my man was on the left. And I'm like, but why are you on the left? And it's things like that just, it makes you completely baffled. Like if you're an Arsenal, like if you're a United fan, you'd be so baffled at that. You spend, let's face it, damn near close to 100 million on one player. Regardless of what you want to say about if Gareth Bale was worth that money or not, because he was not too far away himself. At least with Bale, he started banging in balls pretty quickly, and he was putting in efforts pretty quickly. necessarily see any of that from Pogba. I just see aimless running. So I mean, from that point of view, absolutely, we've got the much better purchase. I I hesitate to think what will happen in maybe 18 months' time, because I think Pogba eventually will have no choice but to start growing as a United player, and really show that he's somewhere near worth this 89 million. But at the moment, yes, we absolutely have the much better purchase. Basically, I can't see myself disagreeing in future anyway. I think for Wenger to pull out we had a chance to buy Kante. Let me put it into perspective for you. We had the chance to buy Kante, and Wenger said, you know what? Nah. I'm going to spend 34 million on Xhaka. You know he's a good player, and he's showing it. So, yeah, I think we've got a better purchase, but I'm not going to start ridiculing him the way I'm starting to see online. People, I'm not going to completely write it proper off just yet. Man's 21. He's got plenty of time to come back. Grim Reaper, 89. Why do you put numbers next to you? You would have thought it'd be 666, not 89. Do you think Arsenal will beat Chelsea? Yes. I'm just gonna gulp real hard, but yes, something tells me I think we have a little bit of momentum that we're going to carry forward. I suppose technically Chelsea do as well. They did win yesterday, but the fact that they needed extra time to do so, all right, albeit over the champions. I don't know. Gut feeling tells me I think we'll be in slightly better form and just slightly more ready for that game. I think we'll win 2-1, he says, but I think we'll win. Yeah. Oral B. Is that a legitimate Twitter handle? It looks like Oral B. I don't know. My eyes are going, so I'm going to assume it's Oral B. This don't even make no sense. Okay, I think I know what you're trying to say. I think I know what the gist of what you're trying to say. You're basically asking which of our summer buys is my favorite signing. I know lots of people are saying Xhaka, and he's starting to turn me a little bit, I must admit, but I'm still going to stick with Perez, because I think long term Perez will prove even the doubters wrong. You know, I was on Twitter yesterday and I was even defending. I was like, my gosh, give the man a chance. This is his second game. Now, at least give him 10 games before you start judging him. Literally, just after I said that, my man banged in 2 goals. Once again, felt vindicated. We as Arsenal fans write too many players off too quickly. And you won't never see me. You won't ever see me do that. All I want to see as an Arsenal fan personally is that you are putting in effort. And probably when I think about that comment that I've just made about putting in effort, I write Ramsey off too quickly. I do. I should show more patience to Ramsey. Because there's one thing I'll give that boy, because as frustrated as I get with him, run and run and run and run. And as an Arsenal fan, I love to see that. You know, that's why I never wrote Jorginho off as quickly as some of you guys, I imagine, did. You know, because the one thing I'll give him, especially when you compare him to, say, someone like an Arshavin, right? Jorginho would run even Abue is another one, right? And I know you guys are probably laughing like, what is this guy talking about? They would run and run and run. And sometimes they'll run into a brick wall, but rarely they'll run and run and run, trip over themselves, try and run back after the ball, get the ball, run and run and run and run for you. And as an Arsenal fan, first and foremost, that's what I want to see. Effort. What I don't want to see is whatever the hell Arshavin did when he was here. I know there was a story that came out this week about how Wenger paid more than double what he wanted to pay because you're scared of Vladimir Putin. I have my doubts. I have my doubts. But it makes for a good headline, so I'll leave the papers to it. But yeah, for me, it's whatever Arshavin did. That's why I hated Arshavin from the get-go. No one can tell me, other than, and people always argue with me when I say this, I don't give a damn. No one can tell me, other than the time he scored 4 goals, what contribution he had to the Arsenal team. What contribution really? And arguably, and I still argue this till this very day, even when he scored 4 goals, he didn't deserve no man in the match. You know who, funnily enough and ironically enough, played out of their skin for Arshavin to score 4 goals? It was Theo, because Theo set him up for at least 3 of those goals. So, I never gave Arshavin man in the match for that. I gave Theo man in the match for that game. I just hated Arshavin literally from the get-go. And that's what I liked about Perez. You know, Perez kept plugging away and plugging away and plugging away, and people were just writing him off. I'm like, listen, all right, he's a bit lightweight, but he's going to get there. You watch, he'll get there. Lo and behold, he scored 2 goals because clearly the man is a finisher. Clearly he's a finisher. So I'm not worried when it comes to Perez, and only just about. Ask me in 6 months' time, it will be Xhaka. I can probably promise you that. But at the moment, it is Perez. I know I was asked that before. Apparently, I was going to be asked that again. So I might be asked that again in 3 months' time when it might change, but I'll still stick with Perez. All right, guys. Thank you for your Q&As. Do follow me on Twitter and ask me anything else that you want me to ask. I'll answer on my next show, which I hope, fingers crossed, to have someone on. I was supposed to have someone on today, but unfortunately they were at work and they couldn't make it. But you guys will recognize the person that I have on next time, I promise. And I'm hoping to have them on next week, all things being well. In terms of when you'll next hear from me, I'll be doing a preview video. I imagine Thursday evening, possibly Friday afternoon, morning, maybe. Might even be Friday morning. And then, obviously, I'll do a review. And, yeah, just keep an eye out for me. You never know. I may pop out somewhere else. That's all I'm going to say. If you're on Twitter and you're not following me already, please do follow me at Colossal Chig. That's CHIG at Colossal Chig. Also, similarly, if you're listening to this for the very first time and you've not subscribed, do hit that subscribe button, and will be alerted for any future shows that I do. All right, guys. Sorry for the slightly earlier episode. I don't really like to clash with anyone else that does their podcast around about the time I do it on a Wednesday. So decided to do it a little bit earlier. I hope you liked it. Do comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought about the game, what you think about potentially we could do this season. And I'm out for now. All right, people. Take care. Up the Arsenal. Peace.